Welcome all to Off the Cuff with Namrita. And today we talk about an organization called Narika. It was founded in 1992 by immigrant women who identified the need for culturally responsive and linguistically diverse domestic violence services in the Bay Area. Narika has helped thousands of individuals put abuse and violence behind them and build new lives for themselves. And today I have two team members from Narika, Jasia Meme, Director of Programs. Welcome. Thank you. And Jyoti Sinha, Senior Advocate for Economic Empowerment. Welcome, Jyoti.
Thank you for having us.
My honor. So, you know what? I was just thinking about Narika. It's been more than 30 years. It's been in service and doing impactful work. So, it's unfortunate that we still have to, organizations like Narika, and the need is more so now. So, why do you think the cycle of violence is, still going on and is still prevalent um, now? And what are the underlying factors, if you can, talk about that?
Yes, thank you for having us, Namrita. I think I'll start with by saying that we know that domestic violence and sexual violence are some of the most underreported crimes, unfortunately.
Yes.
I will say that over 40% of South Asians experience domestic violence here in the United States. And many times survivors don't know that they are in an abusive relationship. They may not recognize some of the red flags, especially in the South Asian community, where many times the person they're in a relationship with may often be the very first person that they have dated or been married to, where they may really want to preserve the relationship, want to uphold many of the traditional and cultural values that are important to our communities. And if if only 40% of folks are reporting it, we can imagine how many reports go underreported or are just never reported. Unfortunately, there is a lot of stigma to speaking up, and it's not just physical violence that survivors are experiencing. Many times it can be emotional, verbal, or psychological abuse, spiritual abuse, financial control, and other coercive factors as well.
Very true, very true. Some very good points that you made. So, how is Narika helping spread awareness around domestic violence, and what programs can survivors avail?
Yes. So we offer advocacy, support, and education to survivors, as well as to the community as well, who may be trying to support and uplift this cause. So some of the services that Narika offers is we have a confidential helpline where survivors, as well as those who are supporting survivors, maybe it's a friend, a neighbor, a social worker who is trying to help a survivor gain safety. So someone can call our helpline, get connected to a domestic violence advocate, where they can get immediate emotional support, safety planning, connections to helpful resources as well. Aside from our confidential helpline, we offer ongoing case management support. So if someone needs some of that longer term help, we can guide them through the process and provide that continuous support, because it's not just a survivor leaving. Many times that may not be the option. Many times survivors may have to stay in their relationship for some time while they're trying to figure it out. And the reality is also that not everybody leaves, but people still deserve safety and support, and how they can also stay safe in a relationship. We have legal resources and referrals. We have therapy resources. We offer support groups, which are both in person and virtual. I want to take a moment to talk about our in-person support groups because during the COVID and the pandemic time, many survivors were stuck in their homes. They weren't able to go outside. You know, there were many offices that were just shut down, and people couldn't physically go to places where they could typically access support. And, you know, we have seen the importance of survivors, being able to come in person and connect with others so that they can feel a sense of community. So yeah, I would say are, you know, still seeing some of those impacts of the COVID time. And yes, so we also offer virtual support groups for those who may not be able to make it in person. We can offer emergency safe nights. So if somebody needs to leave their situation immediately, we can help them get out of that situation and get to safety. We also have 2 transitional homes within Alameda County, which offers longer-term housing and support where survivors can stay for up to a year. And in that time, we're specifically helping them build financial resources and well-being. We also have our SEED program, which I will turn it over to Jayati to speak about.
Thank you. So Narika's Self-Employment and Economic Development Program, which we in short call SEED, just helps these unfortunately domestic violence survivors to rebuild themselves through financial independence. It is, as Jasia had mentioned, 99% of the abuse that they face is actually finance. So it can be, you know, they are denied education, employment, access to funds, or even restricted access to managing their money. So knowingly, unknowingly, you know, this is the first thing that starts. So Narika's most impactful program is our financial wellness workshop. It can be over 4 to 5 weeks where they get to learn about the tools and knowledge, say, of budgeting, saving, what is credit, how to manage it, and of course, how to be safe while they're online. So these we do, you know, regularly, repeatedly, we repeat it a lot. Recently, we have done one with Salam Food Pantry where it was done also in Dari and Hindi. So language is not an issue. So we are able to do this teaching in other languages as well. And it was amazing to see the women, you know, how they felt how they benefited from attending this program. Now, beyond this financial wellness workshop, we also do other workshops which are, say, resume building, retirement planning, preparing for interviews, starting a small business, and more. So these ones we are doing either virtually or in person. And I'm very happy to say that till date we have had at least 90 people who had registered for all these workshops between January and July.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have more coming in August. I will also mention that with the International Rescue Committee, which is IRC, we have been able to provide training to our people, you know, who have put their hand up because they have a lot of trainings. So that bridges the gap between learning and employment. And with Make Tech Purple, we have been able to assist various IT background survivors as well. So I'm very grateful to these partners. Now, these were our workshops. Apart from that, we do a lot of one-on-one programs where we are at the moment managing about 40 clients. Over 160 sessions we have already finished. We do resumes, we help them look for jobs when they're ready to go for interviews or start a business.
Right.
What license will they look into? Is the insurance required? Things like that. So that all we cover, and I just did a little, went through all the list, and I saw that about 12 clients, either they have got jobs or they have got into formal training, and 2 of them are already, managing their debt so that they can increase their credit scores. So
Yes.
I think they are in the right track.
That shows the impact Narika is having and the change, it's making. Because if you are able to help even one person, you're helping generations ahead.
Yes.
Because, like we talked earlier, it's a generational, trauma that can go on and on,
Yes.
through the kids and later on too. So, acting now is so important to, the numbers that you're talking about is massive. And I have to say gratitude to Narika and the entire team for doing what they're doing. Um, you know, that is amazing. And one more thing again is they're talking about the confidential toll-free helpline here. It's the 1-800-215-7308. 1-800-215-7308. Now, Jyoti, another thing about funding for this, what are there's something called the flexible client aid. Like to
So
talk-
I'll start and then Jasia
Sure.
can chime
Yeah.
into it. So one is, we can look at some grant to hold the workshops and things, but there are so many other things that the clients face. Just let's think about the basics.
Yes.
How will they come? Whether it is to a workshop, whether they need to go to the court, there is so much transport involved in it.
Yes, everything.
We really need support with that. Their groceries, their food. Where do they leave a child when they have to attend something which is important? I'm not just saying the workshop, but things like the court.
Everything,
If they have to
yes.
go for a legal appointment. So I would really hope that the community and the listeners would really help us with that. And yeah, Jessie.
And if I may add to that, when survivors are, trying to increase their safety, they have to go to so many different places, as Jayati highlighted, whether it's to a shelter, to court, to their medical appointments, to children's school. Many of our survivors don't have cars.
Yes.
So you can imagine how hard it is to navigate, especially, maybe once you've left your home.
Yeah.
How do you get around? And this, I think, speaks to the importance of, also having like wraparound services where, a survivor doesn't just need one thing. They don't
Yeah.
just need housing. They need housing and they need economic empowerment and development. So we want to make sure that we are not just using a cookie cutter approach, that we can really tailor our services to what the survivor needs specifically. And that's why having that direct, flexible, spending is so important.
Okay. Yeah, and what I'm saying, the underlying theme is about finance and isolation and so much more. Like, Jessia, you were saying it's not just one thing. Okay, you're physically abused and then you go and, take shelter. That's not enough because, it's an ongoing abuse that, this it's maybe starts with financial isolation and then other things follow. And also, one big thing about Narika is it's culturally sensitive. The survivors, so many are immigrants, and that's a huge problem because they don't have agency to do anything if their visa status is dependent on their the person who's controlling them. So that's a huge issue here for immigrant women, I have to say. Abandonment or again child custody. So a lot of advocacy and resources are needed by organizations like Narika. One thing again was that any shift you've seen in new cases or calls because the abuse pattern has changed a lot in the current scenario. Talk about 50 years back. I think it was just, like you think, physical or emotional or maybe financial. But now with teens dating and everything, getting into sexual relationships much earlier or mature relationships much earlier. Uh, Anything about that? Yeah.
I think you touched on how technology has really transformed our lives.
Yes.
And, I don't think we can ignore the fact that we are in the Silicon Valley, where, we are seeing that there is more and more tech abuse happening. Whether it's tracking someone's social media, their email. Many folks are driving cars now that have that you can track the car.
Yes.
We're also seeing a lot of coercion, whether it's financial coercion and or through the courts, where a survivor may be repeatedly taken to court and their financial resources are drained, and if the other partner has access to money and resources, there is a much higher chance that a survivor who doesn't have those resources will experience them, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, that's a huge one. I think the shift from 10 years back.
Yes, and I will say, are seeing an increase in the number of abandonment cases, whether the survivor is being abandoned here in the U.S. or they are somehow coerced and abandoned back home overseas.
Yeah, that's happening. So, my point is now, how can people join Narika? How can they help? And I know you have a gala coming up, a fundraiser where you do talk about the work Narika is doing and, celebrate in certain ways as to, the importance of what you all are doing and the teamwork. Because it takes a village to do work like that. And it takes a lot of strong-minded people. Not everybody can do this work, that you all are doing. So everything about it. Yeah.
We actually have an upcoming 40-hour domestic violence advocate training coming up.
Okay.
And that's actually how I got started in the movement many years ago. And this is where, if you want to work directly with survivors, this is a training that is required, where we will, teach you the basics of how to provide advocacy to survivors.
Okay.
Also, not everyone wants to be on the front line or has the time or the capacity to do that. And that's where I think, whatever direct assistance you're able to give us is very helpful, as well as supporting our gala, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year.
When is the gala? And
the gala is September 7th at the Wente Vineyard.
Okay.
And if you want to find more information, you can always go on our website at narika.org.
Okay.
I just wanted to touch on one thing that, we really need people to come forward, take the training, volunteer with us, because last year we served 975 clients. This year till date we have served over 500 clients. So the numbers are really increasing, and we would really love, people to come and help in this noble cause.
Absolutely, yeah. I can only urge people who think and they feel strongly about this. They can go to narika.org and know more about the organization. Now, ending with one personal question to both of you. We all are women here talking about such a, it's a dark topic, I'll say, but it's reality. It's reality happening around us. So, and you both are doing extraordinary work with the entire team. One thing that made you come out stronger in your own battles, because we all go through, certain ups and downs. So, one thing that made you come out stronger.
Yes, I can start with just seeing the resilience of survivors has had a major impact on me. Watching them go through, trials and tribulations, ups and downs, and never giving up, still, having this conviction that they deserve safety in their lives has really made an impact on me. And watching a survivor accomplish a goal that they had, it just brings me so much joy to know that, maybe I or maybe one of my teammates, Narika, has been able to be a part of that journey.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar to that. When they come to us, they just don't have a vision, and we are able to provide them to see the horizon, and that there is a light behind that. And when they are able to see that, when they are able to move towards it, and they are able to get their independence, our job is done.
Yeah, very true, very true. And I'm sure, they're giving you strength in certain ways. And, showing, like you are showing them the light and a light to their future, a better future. But I'm sure, like you said, they are impacting your lives too. And you have to be ready to receive it also. Giving is easier than receiving, I've seen. So, thank you both for coming on Off the Cuff. And to everybody, go to narika.org to donate or volunteer or come for their wonderful gala. And I also hear that there's a very prominent actress coming for the gala. Her name is Divya Datta. I'm sure people who follow Bolly will know who she is. So do join them September 7 at the Winter Vineyards. Thank you all. Take care and be well.
Thank you.